I've always loved planes. Not flying them, just staring at them through the window like some kind of fascinated goldfish. It still amazes me that something so loud, so heavy, and so full of people just takes off. I used to think maybe I'll fly one. Then maybe I'll design one. Then maybe I'll write about them. The point is, I've changed plans more times than the glitchy GPS we rely on. But I've also kept going through all that's come my way. And honestly, that's what has helped me the most. I may not always know where I'm going, but I know I don't want to stall. Because every time I've stopped for too long, I haven't gotten clarity or improved at something. I've just felt stuck. And planes don't fly by standing still. Let me tell you about the time I wasn't doing much. No events, no competitions, nothing. I thought I'd feel calm and rested. It would give me time to think about my plans for the future, right? Instead, I spent a whole afternoon stewing over a conversation that the other person had forgotten probably 10 minutes after it happened. It wasn't peace, it was static. But when I had 10 things to do in a day, I didn't have time to spiral. I wasn't agonizing over that one look my friend gave me. I was too busy moving on to the next thing. Being busy didn't feel overwhelming. It felt like noise-canceling headphones for my thoughts. Then came last year when it was the complete opposite. I went for a bunch of competitions back to back. I would be in constant motion, I reasoned, and I'd continue the winning streak I'd had since first grade. I was in for a nasty surprise. From story writing to math quizzing to an MUN. In some, I was inches away from a victory, while in some, I was far off the mark. At the end of the day, I hadn't won any of them. To add salt to the wound, I couldn't attain an academic achievement that I'd been getting since many years. It was a year of new lows. Somewhere in this string of losses, uncertainty crept in. I started wondering if I was just speedrunning my own failure arc. Maybe being in constant motion was the problem. Maybe I was rushing so fast from one thing to the next that I wasn't actually learning from any of it. It felt a bit like one of those thriller novels. Just as one staggering downfall ended, the next one began. But then, I was reminded of one of my favorite characters, the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. He says strange things, appears and disappears at random, and at one point, his whole body vanishes until there's just a grin floating in the air. Honestly, that felt a bit like me, because my career plans were just like him, dissolving and reforming at random. The only consistent part, like the cat, they tended to disappear right when I got them figured out. And now it was time for self-doubt to show its face. I'd already been directionless. What if this didn't work out too? What if my plane was never ready for takeoff? Would I stop moving altogether? But then I looked at the cat again and remembered the reason I loved it. Even when everything else was gone, the smile stayed. So I tried to marvel, to smile while being in a frenzy of movement. I tried to smile through the failures, the confusion, and the clouded crystal ball of the future. And smiling all the while, I decided to stick to what I knew best, movement. Even at the beginning of grade 10, the start of the dreaded double-digit grades, I went for a competition. And guess what? I won. Turns out I don't need to pause dramatically after every setback to grow from it. My doubts were assuaged. What I'd felt was right. in the era of hitting the pause button. Some people like me did function differently by moving, racing, hurtling, and propelling ourselves till the exhilaration eliminated the need for a pause. Sometimes reflection could happen while you were moving, like, wow, that didn't work out. Anyway, and I realized something. By starting something new while the last failure was still smoldering, I wasn't ignoring the loss. I was powered by it. Even Newton agrees. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. I'm just ceding to the will of physics. So, I still don't know exactly where I'm going. I don't have a master plan, or a 5-year roadmap, or even a 2-week schedule that isn't in 5-week backlog. At this point, I'm basically a migratory bird. Every so often, I take a 180-degree turn and shed some metaphorical feathers along the way. But then again, if Alice could function in Wonderland's chaos, so can I. I can move through the world while holding on to that smile, that sense of wonder, that weird little floating grin in the sky. Sometimes I'm the plane. Sometimes I'm the passenger. Occasionally, I'm the baggage. But I keep moving, not because I'm avoiding the hard parts, but because motion keeps me from sinking into them. That's what I want. Not to always win. Not to have it all figured out. Just to keep moving, keep smiling. And maybe one day, I'll find myself flying. Thank you.